と
I wonder if this is what Irving
You
meant
can't be
by
serious.
answers.
Not sure. But obviously there's a connection here with Umbrella. And that's never a good sign.
We can worry about this later. First, we need to find out about Jill.
You're right. Let's see what we can dig up.
Let's see what I can dig up. Examine とか。ここら辺確かね、なんでかっつうと、なんでオフでやってるかっつうと、なんかあったんだよね、これね。手記とかなんか読み物が。Water Purifier 読んだ方がいいのかな、こういうの。いやー、こういうのはいいよな、さすがに。そこまでやる必要ないよね。読んだ方がいいのかな。いや、いいよな、そこまではしなくていいよな、さすがに。ちょっと待って。確かあれで What's Umbrella doing research on these flowers? って書いてある。一応読んでくか。これ後で音だけで聞いたときにやっぱり読まないと会話とかも何少ないしね、ただでさえ。Looks like water purifies. This water is probably for the flowers. って書いてある。ここで水を浄化してたわけ。なんかさ、アンブレラのトライセルのテントの中にさ、なんかなかったっけ？気のせいか。ああ、入れないのか、このテントの中で。あ、ちょっと。あれ？What did Umbrella need with all this heavy equipment here? これを使ってあれを作ってたんでしょ？ウイルスを。この花がなんか特性がなんかがあって、スペシャルプロパティーズがあって、その花の属性を使って、ここはちょっといいか。確か手記があったはずだ。ほら、やっぱあるもんね。こういうのできれば読みたいから。できれば読みたいからな。オンでやってるとこれ読んでられないよな、正直。はあ、ひ、ふ、へ、ほ。結構長いな。結構長いな、これ。一回行っちゃったらもう戻れない。今読んだ方がいいと思いますか？読んだ方がいいと思います。読もう。From Chief Researcher Blandon っていう人がいるね。Blandon's Journal って書いてあるね。1966 December 4Mr. Spencer Warren spoke of a flower called the Stairway to this Sun. Stairway to this Sun だから太陽へ向かう階段みたいな感じ。あまりこれ日本語に訳したくないんだよね。英語は英語のまんまやっぱり理解する癖をつけないと、いちいち和訳する癖をつけちゃうと読む速度が遅くなっちゃう。Supposedly this flower would give the person who consumed it incredible abilities. ってことはそれがやっぱウエスカーか。Everyone thought it was nothing more than a rumor or a legend that Mr. Spencer was telling us. But later research would prove us wrong. The first person to recognize ってなんだろうな。recognize. The first person to recognize the validity of that story was my teacher, Dr. James Marcus って書いてある。 これが teacher、he hypothesized 仮定した pretend みたいな感じかな。 hypothesized that a virus Herod っていうバイルスは unknown might exist that could alter DNA、The man was so perspicacious. His hypothesis turned out to be correct. DNA を変えるウイルスが存在する。それがやっぱ鼻の中に含まれてる。The virus discovered in that flower was rabid progenitor。これが progenitor ってやつか。先駆体、precursor みたいな感じ。For 3 months in Africa, we worked diligently, read over result and staved off attacks from the Nidiparia。これ Nidiparia っていうのがNidiparia か。Nidiparia っていうのが先住民。After such time, our effort was finally rewarded. Even Dr. Marcus, who until yesterday looked exhausted, was in good spirits. He wants to return home as soon as possible to delve deeper into his research. 来たな、この delve, drop into ってよく使われるよね。これブラッドボーンの Bergen Wars でも出てきた。この drop into. I feel the same way. I wanted to learn the secrets of this progenitor virus as soon as possible. 1967 February 12. We have hit the metamorphical 来たね。We have hit the metamorphical brick wall. 壁にぶち当たったって感じか。We brought the progenitor flower back from Africa and attempt to cultivate it here. The initial culture samples of the progenitor virus have not shown DNA altering characteristics. じゃあ寒いからストーブつけよう。って書いてあるね。We cultivated the flower to mass produce the progenitor virus. At first, everything proceeded smoothly. The plants were strong and grew quickly. In a short amount of time, they flowered. これじゃフロウだからこれ。でも花どっちだ花なのかそれとも流れるフロウ。In a short amount of time, they flower. これ多分フロウだね。流れるの方だね。But here, when a major problem surfaced, the flower did not contain the progenitor virus. Perhaps the environment into which they are grown triggers the development of the virus. This matter must be investigated further. March 23. We have made no progress. We have tried cultivating the flower under different conditions, but with no luck in triggering development of the virus itself. Thus far, we have tried changing the soil, water, temperature, and light exposure, all with no success. I got into a heated debate with Dr. Marcus about the direction this research was taking. During the debate, Mr. Spencer interjected some foolhardy notion of starting a company. Without the progenitor virus, there's no point in starting a company. Does he not think that? It's all pointless. あれ結局うまくいかなかったのかじゃあ。この手紙を見る限りは成功してないけど、実験は。もうちょっと進んでいけばあるのかな。こっちとかでもなんかありそうだよね、いっぱい。遅い遅い。ちょっと早く流しないと。シェバ、これ取っとけ。
You grab it.
You grab it. こういうのとかつくのかな。あ、つくんだ、パワーオン。すげえいっぱいある手紙。読むか。Research Center Director Blandon。ああ、さっきの人か。1998 November 16 We have closed down the research center. It's strange, but I don't really care. I'm indifferent to the whole thing. I feel the same way as when I heard that the Arclay facility and the Raccoon City were destroyed. When did I become so apathetic? Pathetic にあがつくと名詞になるのか形容詞。I've spent every working moment research and extracting the progenitor virus. Everything I did was for Dr. Marcus. Actually, when I think about it, I probably stopped caring the day I heard he had died all those years ago. Actually, when I think about it, I probably stopped counting the day I heard he had died all those years ago. 感じがのことを気にしなくなった。気にかけなくなった。I didn't feel angry or happy or even shocked. I felt nothing at all. It was as if all my emotions just shut down. I just kept sending out a sample of the progenitor virus to all of Umbrella's laboratories. I was just an automated machine reporting to Umbrella headquarters every time one of my subordinates made a breakthrough or discovered something new. Subordinate ってなんだっけな、同僚とかって意味じゃない、確か subordinate。colleague とかと一緒かな。I was like a zombie ambling through life. No thoughts, no feelings. And now the research center where I've spent half my life is closed. I really don't care one way or another. It's probably all for the best. Perhaps it is too late to have any semblance of life again. Semblance ってなんだ？どういう意味だ？ It's probably all for the best. Perhaps it is too late to have any semblance of a life again. ダメだ。今頭がもうね回らない。はあ。今ね、あれ？やばい、もう22時間寝てない。22時間 今起きてるから頭がダメだ。センブレイス、多分俺意味知ってるな、これ。アセンブル違うな。まあいいや。後で。ここにはよっしゃ、やってやるぜ、こうなったら。とことん。これもこれで長いな、おい。長いな。ちょ。いや、読める気がしないんだけど、今の俺のこの、しょぼしょぼの脳みそで。From Chief Researcher, London's Journal, number 2, 968, April 15. It's been over a year since we have had any breakthroughs. That's why Dr. Marcus and I have decided to return to Africa. We can no longer continue our research without the progenitor virus. I know those routine attacks by the Nidiparia. I know those routine attacks by the Bruvia are really going to rock my nerves, but for the sake of our research, I will persevere. Endure とかで一緒だね。persevere。アクセントはどこなのこれ。persevere。どれなのわからん。In the face of my foreseen dismay, it was Mr. Spencer who provided the answer. If you are worried about the Ruria, when will we just have to remove them from the equation? I can only imagine that look of shock on our faces. The idea never occurred to us. It was quite an atypical solution to our problem, but it seems to be only option available. Dr. Marcus and I decided to try Mr. Spencer's plan. なんつったっけさっきミスター・スペンサー。このルルリアを殺せばいいみたいなこと言ったの。remove だからね。remove them from the equation。だから先住民たちにこのプレゼナイターバイオレスを打ち込んだってことか。でみんなおかしくなってるわけ。August 19. Finally, some good news. We learned they were able to chase the Ruria off their land. The land we acquired only amounts to half of doors and ground ruins. But if it includes the area where the progenitor flower grows, then there should be no issues. Mr. Spencer said he plans to construct research facilities at site which will expedite our research into the virus. わかんないこの expedite 初めて見たこの単語。We hastily made our preparations to depart for Africa, but Mr. Spencer requested that Dr. Marcus stay in Raccoon City to take over the training center. We were initially taken back by this request, but we soon realized it was the logical course of action. Dr. Marcus needed a calm environment to properly conduct his research. If he were in Africa, there would be no proper facility for him to use at this time. I just hope the African research facilities get built soon. So now I will go along to Africa and send back samples of the progenitor virus to Dr. Mercus. Both Dr. Mercus and Mr. Spencer agree this is the best course of the action. I have to start making preparations to go. I have a feeling I'll be pretty busy starting tomorrow. ちょっと待って、口を潤す。September 29. I have been in Africa for 2 weeks now. It's a good thing Dr. Mercus isn't here. This place is far from being a paradise of research and scientific study. The so-called research facilities are nothing more than a bunch of tents, and we have to employ armed soldiers to keep the Rubia at bay. もうさっきからウルビアって言ってるのはアフリカの先住民のことね。読めないアフリカ語。But the things that get on my nerves the most is the sound of the constructions for the real research facilities. これが real research facility じゃない。あ、real はウエスカがいたとこ。How am I supposed to concentrate on the research when everything is threatening to drive me insane? Drive me insane. I'm trying to just concentrate on extracting virus samples from the progenitor flower so I can send them to Dr. Mercus. Hopefully, if I focus on my work, I can remain sane in this God-forsaken place. Forsaken Castle, Kanehurst. 1969. June 15. The research facilities are finally completed. This is the real Umbrella Africa Research Center. Not just some piles of tents, but I have come to a realization in the past 9 months. The facilities are too small for our needs. We need to make them larger, more suitable for research. Then I can fill them with more talented researchers. This place needs to be our front line in our progenitor virus research. Our result will do a great service to Dr. Mercus and his bio research. In a rare turn of events, the old skinflint Spencer actually agreed with me on this. はぁ、もうダメだ。もうなんか今すぐにでも寝落ちっていうかもう睡魔が半端じゃない。